Alabama's WVUA News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Daniel Sparkman. Thanks for joining us tonight. Two 15th Street restaurants are going toe-to-toe over whether one restaurant's rebuilding efforts will eventually hurt the other's visibility. WVUA's Travis Leader has the story.
The owners of Hokkaido Japanese Steak and Sushi Bar are hitting a speed bump on the road to recovery after the April 27th tornado, in the form of a restraining order from its next-door neighbor, Taco Casa. According to Hokkaido's attorneys, Taco Casa wants a restraining order placed on Hokkaido's building efforts in the permit plan already approved by the city of Tuscaloosa. Monday morning, representatives from both restaurants met in a scheduled temporary restraining order and preliminary injunction hearing. And after talks behind closed doors, Hokkaido attorney Joel Doro says both sides still need to have more talks with the city.
All the parties agreed to postpone the discussions until we've had time to have some further discussions with the city about what the new zoning ordinance means.
Taco Casa attorneys say the judge wants to see both sides come to a friendly agreement.
We had a hearing this morning where the parties were present, and as the judge had done previously, he asked the parties to continue working together.
And Winter says Taco Casa will go forth in trying to resolve their neighborly dispute.
Taco Casa continues to work with Hokkaido to see if we can amicably resolve these issues.
Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Travis Leader, WVUA News.
The two sides are scheduled to meet once again in the courtroom on February 23rd. It's been 1 week since tornadoes swept across Alabama. It left 2 people dead and more than 100 injured. Those storms brought to light severe weather can happen in Alabama almost any time. That's why experts say it's important to be ready. According to David Harton with Tuscaloosa EMA, severe weather generally hits in the spring and fall months. But as we saw last week, it can strike at any time. This means it's important to always be prepared. According to Harton, having a safe room put in your home is a good way to increase your family's safety, but some people may not be able to afford a safe room or have extra area to put one in. Harton says there are other things you can do to be prepared for severe weather.
Where is the safer place to be? Generally, it's going to be in your home, an interior hall, or closet. The second thing, besides having a no-weather radio, you really need a plain old battery-powered radio.
Harton also says that it's important to always have your weather radio on and make sure it's tested weekly. On your Crime Watch tonight, Tuscaloosa Metro Homicide is investigating a shooting at a Tuscaloosa apartment complex. According to Captain Lloyd Baker with Tuscaloosa Metro Homicide, the incident happened at Creekside Apartments on Greensboro Avenue. The incident began at approximately noon when an altercation sparked in the parking lot. Investigators don't know the cause, but an individual got a gun and began shooting at a car heading away from the scene. Then another shooting occurred when someone came back into the complex and fired a weapon from the other direction. As of right now, no injuries have been reported. And in Jefferson County, an update on a tragic story in Inslee where 5 people were found shot to death in their home. Police say 3 people are now in custody in connection with the case. Police say the suspects were arrested Sunday night. This comes less than a day after the victims were found dead in their home. The suspects are being held in the Birmingham City Jail, and no charges have been filed yet, and no names have been released in the case. Alabama's gambling corruption retrial has been temporarily suspended. This comes after one of the defendants, former legislative employee Ray Crosby, died. The cause of his death has not yet been determined. This trial was to involve casino owner Milton McGregor, State Senator Harry Ann Smith, former State Senators Larry Means and Jim Pruitt, and 2 others. All were facing bribery charges. 6 of the defendants are facing conspiracy charges. The judge has yet to issue a new date for the selection of the jury. On your Health Watch tonight, fighting the flu. Spring may be just around the corner, but that doesn't mean you're safe from the flu just yet. WVUA's Winnie Wright has more.
The flu infects hundreds of people each year, but not always when you think. Dr. Robert Posey of Med Center North says the flu can come at any time.
You know, in my entire career, I don't think I've ever been through a season where we didn't have an epidemic that hit Tuscaloosa. There have been some late, and you know, the swine flu a few years ago We saw some during the summer even, but generally it's before now. But it's been late like this in the late winter and spring before.
Dr. Posey says, even though it's almost February, it's never too late to get a flu shot. There are 2 ways to get your flu vaccination: the traditional flu shot and also the flu mist. The CDC says both methods protect against the 3 most common types of the influenza virus. Many think just because we are headed into spring, they don't need to get vaccinated. But Holly Hartzell, clinical director at Med Center North, says having a flu shot can keep you from missing a lot of school and work.
If you haven't gotten the flu shot, you need to go ahead and get it, because if you get affected by the flu, it will take you out of commission for at least a week.
Hartzell says symptoms of the flu include chills, fever, runny nose, cough, and congestion. If you think you may be coming down with the flu, contact your doctor immediately. Reporting in Northport, Winnie Wright, WVUA News.
And if you would like to learn more information about the flu vaccine, just go to WVUATV.com and click on numbers and links. A research project at the University of Alabama could lead to help for those living with congenital heart failure. WVUA's Taylor Sanders tells us how.
The fear of these snakes might make your heart race, but Dr. Stephen Secor with the University of Alabama's Department of Biological Sciences say there's more to these animals than meets the eye.
A python really is very unique in that it experiences a very fast and very rapid growth of its heart, and that just comes with eating a meal. You know, what we see in human heart growth hypertrophy usually takes months, years to occur, and the pythons can experience such a growth within days after feeding.
Dr. Secor says snakes like these Burmese pythons allow researchers to make huge gains in understanding the cardiac and digestive systems of humans.
And there's a lot of interest in cardiac hypertrophy because it's one of those key characteristics that you see in human heart disease. And if we can understand how is it that the heart grows, then we might be able to get a better understanding on how to control that growth as it ties to human heart disease.
But pythons aren't the only reptiles in Secor's collection. The department has a variety of different snakes, bearded dragons, and even a crocodile. This is, and what is this one called again?
A rosy boa.
A rosy boa.
Yeah, from the southwest United States. Oh, Arizona, Southern California. Desert areas.
Dr. Secor wants people to know that about 75% of the snakes you might encounter are not venomous, but to be aware of snakes with larger heads. Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Taylor Sanders, WVUA News.
Dr. Secor says the project is still looking for grants to continue their research.